Welcome, Thoiba.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Thoiba Ahmed. Thanks for having me. I want to talk today about the Sudanese revolution and to give a bit of background about it. The Sudanese revolution was catalyzed on 2018 December after intergenerational struggle against the National Islamic Front regime, who came to power following a military coup in 1989, which means they were in power for 30 years, a dictatorship last for 30 years. From the beginning of the recent uprising, the Sudanese Professional Association emerged as a leading group of the uprising. It launched a political declaration that has formed the base of wide alliance of those participating in the protest and sent the Declaration of Freedom and Change. Our people exhibited commitment and persistence, participating in maintaining the peaceful nature of the weekly marches and protests called for by Freedom and Change Force. Millions took the streets on the 6th of April and set up a civilian mass sit-in in front of the army headquarters in Khartoum. They were failed attempt by Bashir's security force and Islamic movement militias to attack, disperse those in the sit-in, while brave junior rank officers from the army, those not who used the violation against the protesters. This soon resulted in Bashir's security committee removing him from power on the 11th of April and declaring themselves as the Transitional Military Council, which is the TMC, temporarily claiming their support for the uprising. People, however, had little trust on the TMC, and unfortunately, that distrust was proven right. When on June the 3rd of 2019, a massacre was committed under instruction from the TMC, an attack was carried out by the coordination and participation of the army, security forces, and the Janjaweed militias. The Janjaweed militias led by Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, and now they name it the Rapid Force Support. The Janjaweed committed massacres and genocide in Darfur. And during that period of time, and still going on, live ammunition and other weapons were used against civilian protesters, women, men, and children, and those present were subjected to torture and gender-based sexual violation and rape for both men and women. It's happening while the internet was blacked out and remained so still, and to prevent the dismentation of witnesses and videos, statements and testimonies, and the national TV station was used to as a mean to broadcast state propaganda, which attempt to discredit survivors. According to reports from the Central Doctors Committee in Sudan, 135 men, women, and children have been confirmed dead, over 700 wounded, over 71 cases of rape reported, along with thousands of others missing. And based on the statement from witnesses or eyewitnesses, they are feared that bodies of many others remain in the hands of the Janjaweed militia, who personnel has been observed digging around Khartoum areas, and that, you know, it's feared to be like a mass grave outside Khartoum. This event and long distance witnesses of ongoing attack on many of our people who have risen up to call for human rights, freedom, justice, and civilian role have been deeply painful for us. We have tried to channel that pain into mobilizing our community in Ireland and all around the world, and our community, you know, to voice those who are silent in our country. We are therefore calling upon the Irish government, and we're calling on Amnesty and all the human rights organizations and the Irish public as well, to help us in our commitment to support our people in their peaceful resistance against the military coup. And after all of that, recently on the 25th of November, there was another military coup committed by General Al-Burhan. People are still protesting, going out in the street, and we are still raising our voice, looking for support and help. And I just want, in this, I want to talk about the recent, you know, people who died in this last military coup on the 25th of November 2021. And I want to talk about a lady who were killed during this, you know, violence. This lady, her name is Sitanifur Ahmed Bakkar, and the people used to call her Sitana. She was killed on the 17th because of the military coup on the 25th of October. Sitana is a young woman who was barely about 25 years old. She used to come out to all the protests, and she's always mobilizing the people, calling for the protest. And they said the last time when she were shooted, you know, directly on the head, and there is other photos and proofs for her killing and everything. She was stood at a demonstration holding a sign, and she said that I am still beautiful, free, perfect, respected, precious, loved, brave, great, inspiring, and strong. And that was her last thing. She'll be remembered. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you, Toiba, for sharing that.
Thank you very much.
What a beautiful young woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tragic, isn't it?
Yeah. Amnesty has issued a number of statements, I suppose, since the coup in Sudan in October, most recently at the end of November, because, as you say, Toiba, a lot of peaceful protesters have been killed in Khartoum over the last couple of months. And Amnesty has called for an independent investigation into all of these killings and for those who are responsible to be brought to justice. There isn't at the moment a membership level action on Sudan from Amnesty, but as you said, Toiba, we could all ask our government through the Minister for Foreign Affairs, either via letter or via email, to support Amnesty's calls and to pressurise the Sudanese current authorities to investigate all of the killings.
Yeah, I want to mention that the Foreign Minister of Ireland, he just, you know, had a statement, and it was on the Irish Times, and he condemned the military coup, and he was there. The situation in Sudan is really fragile because there is a lot of militias, and they are still in power, and there is something like agreement just signed by the civil minister, Abdullah Hamdok, after he was arrested during this coup. And now he is there by himself, but the people don't accept that, and they don't trust, you know, the military coups, and they are just going on. It's a lot. It is against our democracy and freedom. People are still in a really difficult situation, still protesting, going outside, and it is peaceful.
Yeah.
I want to raise.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Toiba, if the Sudanese community have vigils in Letterkenny, isn't that right? Solidarity vigils.
Yeah,
sometimes.
in Letterkenny, in Dublin, all around Ireland, and also Belfast, Derry. They're very much committed to that. Yes.
Yeah. So we could, again, that is something that we could do. We could support the local Sudanese community at those vigils if we know when they are.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely, we're expecting one on the 18th of December, which is the day that the revolution started. Yeah, looking forward to it. We'll let
Okay.
you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I'll let you
So,
know.
yeah, now we will talk about some of the cases in the Right for Rights campaign. Each year there are 10 people selected whose cases Amnesty has been working on, but we're just going to talk about 3 of those cases this evening. But all of the details of all of the cases are available on the Amnesty website.